Hi, so today I went on two dates. The first one was with a girl that I already had three dates with. I don't usually go on that many dates with one girl unless we have already slept together, but I think I'll make an exception for this case because she was very inexperienced, never had any boyfriend, and barely had any dating experience. So I thought I'll make an exception for her. So on the dates today, initially I wasn't that physical because I feel like physicality is something that should be natural. That should be come from your deepest desire. I wouldn't say the word desire, like your deepest truth. Yeah, that's a better expression. That should be coming from your deepest truth about what you want. And I remember back then I used to be very stuck in my head about whether I should touch a girl or not, but then I realized it's just an expression of who you are and what you want. Do not take ownership of the girl's reaction. That part is so key. I think I need to like burn that shit into my brain. Cause that quotes do not take ownership of the girl's reaction is what we're it's what stops most guys from stating their intent, stating what they want to the girl. So today, so in the beginning of the date today, we walked to the fish and chip shop. It's it's pretty bomb, and we got our fish and chips and we walked to the botanic garden. Now I've never been to the botanic garden, so it was quite an experience for me. It's funny that I've lived here for 5 years and I've never been to the botanic garden, which was about 5 minutes, 10 minutes away from my place. Yeah, it's a good place. It feels very unlike the city, or it just feels like you're a different place when you're inside. And that's what I love about it. So we went there, we sat on a bench where we were eating our lunch. I took my time and didn't really escalate that much because I know that keeping up a good vibe is more important than just keep touching a girl here and there, which is also important. It's kind of paradox, isn't it? So after we finished lunch, we walked around the garden for a bit, feed the ducks, and I never felt more comfortable with a girl before sex. It's funny, isn't it? And at that point, I feel really aroused just by being in her presence. And we started holding hands. And at that moment, I just feel like we're truly comfortable with each other. But because I had another date scheduled, which was probably not a good idea, because I reckon I could have spent more time with the first girl, and we could easily move faster, and I could escalate more. And when we were back at my place, but we didn't go back to my place because I had another date scheduled. So I had to finish the dates earlier than I really wanted to, and went to meet this other girl. Now this other girl, she was also very inexperienced. Like today was her first date, pretty much. And so we just sat there at a cafe. She arrived earlier than me. So we sat there and we talked for a bit, and she was very surprisingly, she was okay. Like she wasn't really shy or nervous, and she was very open and warm, and that's what I love about her. And and I remember that we talked a lot about dating, even though she had no experience. She kept asking me if I go up to girls on the street a lot. Now, girls ask me these questions they ask me these questions a lot. And to be honest, I just don't know. I just can't be fucked trying to think of an answer to impress them. So I just shrugged and said, yeah, don't people do this a lot? I thought that's what people do. Then she was like, no, that's not what people do. People don't do that kind of stuff. Then, then I could sense that she started to accuse me for being a player and ask me when my last relationship was and when my last proper girlfriend. I was like, when my last girlfriend was. And I was like, do you mean like a proper girlfriend or I don't know. And she's like, a fling? It's like, yeah, 2 months ago. I had like a fling 2 months ago. She was very surprised. I feel like maybe I shouldn't have told her too much about me doing pickup, because that's kind of ruins the bubbles you have with each other. I found that if girls don't ask you that kind of questions, it means you are doing it right. It means you're not making it look like a pickup, because the more you make it seem very obvious you're trying to pick her up, the more you're kind of in the intermediate phase, not very smooth, so it's kind of obvious. But I guess it could also be because I actually approached her before, sometime last year, even though I couldn't remember. So I approached her before, and last week I approached her again on my way to the gym. Of course, she remembers me, but I don't remember her. And she gets it right. It's because I've done this too much, so I don't remember. But to be fair though, like, if you say hi to everyone every day, do you remember who you say hi to? Of course not. So that was... I guess maybe I shouldn't have, because I didn't feel really comfortable talking too much about my dating life. I always want to keep it private to myself. Then I asked her if she ever have any boyfriends, and she told me no. It's like, damn. I was like, but you're so pretty. How come no guy ever asked you out? And she told me there was a guy who asked her out last year, but she was very busy. Like, he asked her out several times. Well, girl, it's your fault. The guy didn't put himself out there. Well, it's also the guy's responsibility to make it work. But at the same time, a girl has to do the work as well. So after that, after we talked a bit about dating, and she asked me so much about my dating life, I feel like that maybe that was the reason I got friend zoned. Ooh, I haven't got friend zoned for so long. It was weird. I also feel like that I wasn't meant to woman enough in terms of eye contact, physicality, and my voice. I feel like my voice was pretty good on that date, but maybe it was the eye contact and maybe the thoughts. So how I got a friend zone was like this. After I tried to get us out of the cafe so we can start walking or going back to my place, she declined both of my offers. The first time I suggested, oh, want to go for a walk? And she said, it's too cold out there, which was true. And the second time, so I just keep vibing for a little more. And the second time I said, do you want to come to my house to do some painting? And she's like, oh, where do you want to do it? I was like, my place. And I think she knows what's up there. And she's like, maybe next time. Then I know the second time I tried to pull her, I was very out of. I know I wasn't ready, but I thought I know she wasn't ready. So I thought, fuck it, give it a shot. Then after that, she said, oh well, maybe we should go. I was like, oh yeah, sure, let's go. Oh wait, like right before she said let's go, she said it's good to have a guy friend because guys are so confusing. And at that moment I thought, shit, did I just get friend zoned? Because we've been talking about dating and stuff for the past 15 minutes or 20 minutes. And then she said, and after she said that, I said, do you have a guy friend? And she explained to me that there's this guy who possibly likes her friend and they always talk about him, but he's so confusing, like he's so shy and doesn't know how to express his intent, I guess. So she told me that, and I told her, well, I like you though. At first, she didn't quite hear me, so I gathered myself, be present, and told her, well, I like you though. I like how you're so open and warm. And I like that. And she was smiling and maybe blushed a little as well. Because that compliment came from my deepest truth. And she started to qualify herself and said, yeah, I am like that. I'm quite open to people and I'm quite friendly, blah blah blah. And I said, yeah, exactly, I like that. I'm not sure if that. Maybe I shouldn't come from this frame of trying to be clear in my intent. Maybe I should come from the frame of that is my truth. So I don't take, and that's my truth. And the most important thing is I took ownership of that. After we left the cafe, she said, oh, let's exchange Facebook. And she added me on Facebook. And we could talk more, she said. I took that as a good sign, but I'm not sure if I'm in a friend zone completely yet. But oh well, that's the thing when you're dealing with very, very inexperienced girl. They're just not so good at the whole thing. they're not so good at telling if a guy is interested. So that could be one reason too. Anyway, that's it for today. Tomorrow, I will keep you guys updated